This is a brand new children's book. Quote, "If there is danger and it is safe to get away, we should run like rabbit instead of stay. If danger is near, do not fear. Hide like Pooh does until police appear. If we can't get away, we have to fight with all our might." Parents in the Dallas Independent School District in Texas found out this week that their kids as young as pre-K, were sent home with this book. It is called Stay Safe, and it uses characters from Winnie the Pooh to teach run, hide, fight, which is the guidance in the event of an active shooter. It teaches that to young children. We talked to the publisher of this book today, and he told us he was thinking of the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas last year that killed 19 fourth-grade students and 2 teachers. The book's publisher said he just wanted to make a resource for parents who found themselves not knowing how to have this kind of conversation with children that young. And he told us that he is, quote, heartbroken that we as a society have a need for something like this. Now, we are showing you this book today because tonight at midnight is incredibly significant in the state of Texas. First off, tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of the Uvalde shooting. On top of that, tonight at midnight is the deadline for any new legislation of any kind to pass the Texas legislature until its next session. And if you did not know, the Texas legislature only meets every 2 years. The legislature can technically meet more than that if the governor calls for a special legislative session. But with the conservative Greg Abbott in the governor's mansion, that means after midnight tonight, only Republican priorities are going to see the light of day. Other than that, if bills are not passed by midnight tonight, then nothing will happen in the Texas state legislature until it meets again in January of 2025. I'm not misspeaking here. There will be no new legislation until the year 2025. And in the years since the Uvalde shooting, the big thing Uvalde parents pushed for was to raise the minimum age for buying semi-automatic rifles from 18 to 21. But the Republican-controlled legislature wouldn't even do that. So in a state where schools are now turning to Winnie the Pooh to teach 4-year-olds how to survive mass shootings, with just hours left to pass anything for the next year and a half, and hours until the anniversary of the deadliest school shooting in the past decade, what are Republicans in the state of Texas focused on? Well, yesterday, the Texas House passed a bill banning diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts on college campuses, and another bill regulating drag shows. Today, they passed one bill that gets rid of the county elections administrator in just one single county, Harris County, which is the largest, most diverse county in all of Texas. And they passed another bill that gives the Texas Secretary of State the ability to take over elections administration in any county where a complaint is filed. So that's basically any county Republicans want. Earlier this month, they passed a bill that would allow schools to employ chaplains, who are religious figures, to essentially serve as school counselors. And in these final hours, we are watching to see if they will pass a bill requiring the 10 Commandments to be posted in every classroom in the state, including public school classrooms. Those last 2 measures are among a handful of bills that have passed at least one chamber of the Texas legislature and that are alarming people who believe that the church and state should remain separate here in America, as they have been for much of the 20th century. One Texas state senator who sponsored several of those bills told the Washington Post, quote, "There is absolutely no separation of God and government, and that's what these bills are about. That has been confused. It is not real."